Hey guys, Bird Yu-Gi-Oh here, coming at you with another deck profile. This time it is going to be Dinomist, one of my favorite rogue. It's also pretty budget too, but very, very good pendulum deck. If you guys like this kind of stuff, you know, rogue, budget strategies, and just kind of different takes on the meta, make sure you guys subscribe. We're nearing 200 subscribers, so let's try to get there as soon as we can. Let's just get right into this deck profile. So to start off with, played 2 Rex and 2 Spinos. They're kind of your boss monsters. They're level 5 water machine. Basically all the Dinomists are either scale 3 or scale 6. If they're scale 3, their effect is if another Dinomist card you control would be destroyed by battle or an opponent's card effect, you can destroy this card instead when it's in the scale. And then the 6s are once while this card is in your pendulum zone, you can negate an activated card effect that targets another Dinomist card you control. Then you destroy that card. So that's their scale effects for all the Dinomists, like I said. But these cards specifically help you out with your OTKs quite a bit. So Rex, if this card attacks at the end of the damage step, you can tribute one other Dinomist monster and activate one of these effects. This card can make a second attack, and it inflicts piercing battle damage to defense position. And then you could also either shuffle one card from your opponent's hand or their side of the field into the deck. So it doesn't target, really, really good. And then Spinos, you can tribute one other Dinomist monster and then activate one of these effects. This card can attack your opponent directly this turn, and then also this card can make a second attack during each battle phase. You can do one of those effects. So as you can see, it just kind of helps in the battle phase, kind of getting you some multiple attacks and whatnot. And then 3 Brachion. This one's really good when you're going second, because if you do not control a Brachion in your monster zone and your opponent controls a monster that has the highest attack, you can special summon this card from your hand. So it's almost like a Cyber Dragon-like effect. Pretty high attack too, 2000 is kind of nice. And then the last of the level 5s that we play is 3 Ceratops. This one kind of turbos out your Cyber Dragon Nova. If all monsters you control are Dinomist monsters, minimum of 1, and none are Ceratops, you can just special summon this from your hand. So really, really good. Helps you kind of get going. Now for the level 4s, the best one, well, they're both pretty good, but this one's the best one because it searches Terran. So when this card destroys an opponent's monster by battle, you can add 1 Dinomist card from your deck to your hand. So you can search out your trap or your spell or whatever. It's got 1800 attack, so not too bad. And then Plesios is really good because all face-up monsters your opponent controls lose 100 attack and defense for each Dinomist card you control. So that one comes up a lot, you know, obviously, especially when you're going second for doing some damage and just killing your opponent. That's it for the Dinomists. I don't play any of the other, like Stegosaur and some of those other ones just aren't very good, and they don't do much for you. So I just want to keep it bare bones, the cards that just really, really help you out. Now for just kind of generic pendulum stuff that works really well in this deck. One of the best ones is going to be Magical Abductor. It's got there's multiple reasons we play it. It's also a scale 3, but this one, when it's in the scale, each time a spell card is activated, you place 1 spell counter on this, and then you can remove 3 spell counters from this and add 1 pendulum monster from your deck to your hand. So it just searches any Dinomist, any other pendulum you have, but also its monster effect comes up too because of a card we play. So it gathers spell counters the same way. Each time a spell counter or a spell is activated, you place a spell counter on him, and then you can remove 3 when he's a monster, and then add 1 level 1 spellcaster from your deck to your hand. So I'll show you what that target is. Basically a searchable hand trap that works very well. And this isn't like a typical pendulum deck, but we do play still some turbo cards, mostly for Abductor because it gets some spell counters on her. 3 Chronograph Sorcerer and 1 Time Gazer. Like I said, get some spell counters, and also it turbos out a pendulum so you can get into Electromite easier. And then the other kind of turbo one we can do is Abyss Actor, Curtain Raiser. Same kind of idea, you know, you can, while Abductor's in scale, you can place Curtain Raiser there, get a spell counter, and then special summon if you don't control any other monsters. So really, really good. The last pendulum monster we play is Rescue Hamster. Particularly in Dinomist, you can use, you're not really going to be, let's see, using the scale effect too much, but you can. You can banish this card from your pendulum zone and add 2 face-up pendulum monster cards with the same name from your extra deck to your hand. But when this card is normal summoned, and you have a face-up level 5 or lower pendulum monster in your extra deck, you can tribute this card and choose 1 level 5 or lower from your extra deck and special summon 2 monsters from your deck with the same name as that card. So say you have Ceratops in your extra deck, and that's the only one, normal summon this, and then special summon out 2 Ceratops by tributing that. So really good, especially really good in this deck. You can get some 5s out or 4s, whichever is appropriate for the time. That's it for the pendulum monsters. The last 3 monsters we play are Drolin Lockbird. It's searchable off of Abductor. That's a level 1 spellcaster. And also, since we have a lot of level 5s, you can easily make Artifact Durandal, and then you can do the Durandal Drolin Lockbird combo, basically, to just banish your opponent's entire hand, or get rid of your opponent's entire hand. So really, really good in this deck, since you can make that Durandal so easily. So that's it for the monsters. It is still a pendulum deck, so we still do, it's pretty monster heavy. And then now off to the spells. Dinomist Charge is amazing. So when this card is activated, you can add 1 Dinomist from your deck to your hand. And then once per turn, if a Dinomist card is added from the field to your extra deck face up, you add 1 of those cards to your hand. So their effects in the scale to kind of protect you, when they go to the extra deck, they'll just go right back to your hand the first time you use that effect. So amazing card for this deck. Obviously you get spell counters because it's a spell on your magical Abductor. We need some draw power as well, so 2 Pot of Desires, really, really good. We play a lot of 3-ofs, so we're really not too concerned with banishing our important cards. I like 1 Ignite Reload. I don't like more than 1 because it does restrict you from drawing for the rest of the turn. But if you have kind of just a messed up hand with, like, I don't know, you drew 3 Brachion and can't do anything with it. It doesn't happen too often, but Ignite Reload can just help fix that. Get you some draw power. And then 1 Upstart Goblin. We're playing 40. Doesn't matter anyway, even if we were playing over 40, I'd probably still play it because it's just an easy way of getting you know, a counter on your magical Abductor. So that's all that's for. And then the last cards we play, 3 Dinomist Howling. It's the perfect card for this deck. It's absolutely amazing. When it's activated, you can place 1 or 2 Dinomist Pendulum monsters from your deck to your Pendulum Zone, so it sets your scales. And then you can't Pendulum Summon until the end of the next turn, except Dinomist monsters. And then once per turn, this is its main effect that just disrupts your opponent. If this card is already face up in the spell or trap zone, you can tribute 1 Dinomist monster, then target 1 card your opponent controls and return it to the hand. So it's just really, really good disruption. Set your scales, obviously, and just the perfect card for this deck. So that is the main deck. Extra deck, you've already seen a few of the cards, but the main link we go into is Electromite. just because it's basically searching any Dinomist or any pendulum card you need, and drawing. And we have some turbo cards to get into this pretty easily. One Mistar Boy, because all the Dinomists are water, so it does come up every now and then. Cleafort Genius, all of the Dinomist are machine. That's the same reason we play Platinum Gadget. It's a way of summoning out, special summoning from the hand, to get the gadget out too. And then our rank 5s, Cyber Dragon Nova, they're all machine type, all the Dinomists, so you can make that pretty easily, and then you just slap an Infinity on top of it, just for a free negate basically. Durandal, so if you have 2 5s, you're gonna decide if you're gonna make, you know, just a negate, or go for the Durandal Droll and Lock combo if you have Droll and Lock, so you have options there. Our 4s, one of the most, the best ones is going to be Bahamut Shark. He just requires 2 level 4 waters, so your 2 level 4 Dinomist, and then you go into Totally Awesome off of him. You just get a really nice negate. I also like Hope Woven Dragon Spider Shark. It requires 2 level 4 water monsters. It's basically a battle phase kind of card. When any player's monster declares an attack, you can detach 1 from this card, and all monsters your opponent controls lose 1,000 attack until the end of the turn. So it's a way of getting over stuff. And then if this is destroyed by battle or card effect, you can target 1 monster in your graveyard and special summon it. We also play Abyss Dweller. You know, it just requires 2 level 4s, really good against most decks this meta. But also it does gain 500 attack if there's a water monster attached to it. So most of the time it will have a water monster attached to it. Dugaris, really good at special summoning and just drawing cards. So I like to play it if you can make rank 4s. Dugaris is really good. And then Tornado Dragon, just for popping stuff that your opponent has that might mess you up. And then the last 2 cards, Mega Fleet and Fortress. We don't play Cyber Dragon in the main, but for sure in the side deck I would definitely recommend playing 3 Cyber Dragons, because you do have space in the extra deck, and these are just amazing going second, Cyber Dragons. And they also work very well with the deck, because you can pendulum summon this out, because you play, you have scale 3s and scales 6s, so you could, or like I said, just go in second, just slap that down and just take whatever your opponent has. I've found that this, like in my ABC deck, it works very well at just getting rid of problem cards. We play Fortress because you can use your own monsters, but also for Orchist, they'll end on usually at least 1 machine, if not a couple. So you can just snatch up, you know, whatever machine type monsters they got. But yeah, that's the deck profile, guys. Again, if you guys like this kind of stuff, go ahead and subscribe. I try to post, you know, every 3 to 4 days if I can, at least once a week. So catch you guys on the next one.